Greetings. This is the hotel analysis plan for Hotel Hilton, and this is our team. Myself, Mr. Aditya Shinde, the general manager, Miss Manisha, the front office manager, Mr. Atharva, the operations manager, and Mr. Ravi, the security manager. The reason we are gathered here for this crisis meeting is the serious situation that has occurred to our Hotel Hilton and how various departments are uh, finding the solution with their various approaches and how to tackle it, how to resolve this situation faster, efficiently, and more effectively. So, this is our core agenda for this crisis meeting today. Today, we all know why we have gathered here. There's a serious situation that has dawned upon our Hotel Hilton when there was a bomb threat call dialed at our front desk. This situation is crucial because we are hosting all the VIPs and all the international delegates uh, at our property due to the international conference that is going to be held tomorrow. This is the situation is way more crucial because and critical because the occupancy level of a hotel is also high. The other guests are the percentage of other guests is also high due to the vacation season. The situation is really tough as there are high stake matters and there are actual lives at stake. So the situation is to be solved as soon as possible with effective and efficient way. There are various issues that are arised due to this serious crisis. Every department in the hotel is affected by this threat call. But first, the most important issue here that I can see is the safety of our guests and the international delegates. The next issue is the communication within the department as well as with other departments, and how the communication is effectively applied is a major issue. The next is how we are going to communicate with the government authorities, and the further analysis of the threat call, how we are approaching that is also another issue. The issue is how to create a safe passage to our guest without any commotion and when any hindrance in the way. The conference is the highest stake and we have to find a way to not to be any hindrance for the conference. Next is to maintain the trust of all the guests with a hotel and showcasing our character to the guest in this tough situation is another issue that we are facing currently. Another issue that we can identify here is how individual departments tackle this situation. Furthermore, there will be many issues regarding the after effects for our brand as well as how we emerge from such a debacle. Starting from front office, how the situation is mitigated is also alarming issue. Also, the threat of loss in confidence in the employees is also challenging. So these are some broad issues. But now, Miss Manisha, what do you think about your front office department and how you are approaching this situation? Please tell us.
Thank you, Mr. Aditya. So, the front office department follows the two leadership approaches. The first one is empowerment leadership, and the second one is ethical leadership. Firstly, I'm going to talk about the empowerment leadership. Empowerment leadership is a kind of skill in which a person can empower himself or herself, his or her qualities, abilities, and capabilities by taking a right to make appropriate decision in a team. In Hilton, only then bomb threat can be reduced effectively by staff members coordinating with each other in a prepared manner and make decisions diligently used the right to make their planning and plotting regarding this. On the other side, the ethical leadership means individual behave according to a set of principles and values that are recognized by the majority. The ethical leadership is all about the following proper rules and regulations so the staff members can easily tackle the situation of a bomb threat Moving towards the priority to protect the or save the person, then Hilton give equal opportunities to each of the guests. There is no biasness depending on the rank or a post of a person. Besides this, front office department maintain cordial relationship with other department as well and coordinate in a required way, which can make any adverse situation under control. So now I am going to talk about the action plans. Action plans outline how your business will react if a crisis occurs. Firstly, start with how the staff handle the circumstances. Management includes the level of confidence in the staff so that the vulnerability to threat from terrorism can be reduced. If they are confident enough to deal with the situation, only then they can have impactful plan to safeguard some or all from this threat. In addition, successful response to an actual terrorist attack depend on the creation of company security policy. Staff can look for appropriate service recovery opportunities, including some contingency plans, ensuring that all staff members are familiar with it. Moreover, even by taking proper evidence on the things that manager can do reduce the chance that a bomb will cause injury to staff or visitors. Nextly, communication. Communication should be there in order to enhance the progress of recovery plans. Besides this, effective communication can bring many benefits, such as every staff member is clear about what they are going to give a particular situation or during an attack. There is an inherent danger in trying to change plan. Nextly, the evacuation. The pre-arranged emergency warning system should be sounded. Furthermore, the project site should be evacuated in an orderly manner in accordance with the emergency evacuation procedures. The project manager or executive are the only person that can direct employees to return to work, and only after a search of the building has been completed by law enforcement personnel or qualified representatives of the owner, and 1 hour after the indicated bomb threat time has passed. Last but not the least, checklist. Checklists play a significant role in the bomb threat. Checklist should be ready on time. Every little information like the background noise, accent of the person, clue related to that person like identity, location of the caller. These things are very important in the checklist. Make sure the checklist should be ready and listen carefully to the person what they are talking about, and also obtain as much as little information or detailed information as possible about the bomb and its location. Now over to Mr. Athava.
Thank you, Ms. Manisha, for bringing this to our notice. So, from the operations point of view, we'll be adopting combination of two leadership styles, which are authoritative and participative. In authoritative kind of leadership, we are going to be looking at a quick reaction because, guys, we need to understand that this is a serious bomb threat and we don't have time on our hands. We need to create our plans accordingly. The vision is pretty clear. We need to safeguard our people and the WH delegates who are in house with us. We need to also ensure first hand measures work out, as later on the law and order will take effect. What's important is before they get into the picture, we need to be ready with all the plans and execution strategies. Secondly, we'll also be adopting a participative leadership kind of style. This is very important as we'll be needing ideas from each and every one of you to handle the situation in most effective and efficient way. I'm pretty certain that if we work smart as a team, we can tackle this issue in front of us. The communication between us should be very confidential until we understand the gravity of the situation and the threat. And until we don't understand that, we need to keep this discussion within the four walls. I understand, guys, this is a time of serious crisis, but we need to keep our cool and composure because if we lose our calm and composure, the guests are going to panic. And if the guests panic, everything is going to be in shambles. So we need to ensure that we are at peace and we are going to take decisions thoughtfully and effectively. Second thing in I want to put in front of you is that we need to consider what the threat is. We cannot take the threat lightly, even if it's a hoax call. We need to follow all the protocols that are being laid out by the team. Thirdly, we need to be notifying the local authorities as well as the police department and providing them with all the details possible. That also includes, if possible, exact wordings of the threat. This will help the police determine the gravity and take action accordingly. Next point I would like to mention is the evacuation procedures. I'm sure the security team is ready with all the plans with how we are going to evacuate the guests in case this is a real bomb threat issue. Next point I would like to mention that we need to also create search procedures if it's a real bomb threat. We need to find out where that bomb is. We cannot let that bomb explode in a hotel at no cost. We need to follow all the systematic guidelines and we need to focus on each and every area of the hotel. Not a single piece can go missing, and we need to ensure that we are very precise in whatever we do. Nextly, we'll be talking about the communication, that the communication has to be very clear with the police and the other emergency responders. We need to provide them with each and every update that's possible, that is happening and that can happen. Next, if the issue has been rectified or it has been detected, we need to tell the guests in a very diplomatic way that what issue is in front of us and how we are dealing it, because we cannot keep them in blinds for too long, as that can create a insecurity in them. Nextly, we need to preserve the evidences. We need to ensure that we can send all these recordings to the police so that they can create this investigation and catch the hoax caller or the organization behind who is trying to bomb the hotel. Next, I would like to point out is we need to cooperate with the authorities. We need to give them full cooperation. We cannot get into their matters. We need to follow our protocol and we need to ensure that the WHO delegates and the regular guests are all secure. And once the law and enforce order gives us a clear message that this issue has been rectified, we can again resume operations. But until that, we need to be on a red alert. We need to be, every second counts from this point onwards. And I'm sure all of you guys understand what we are going to be taking forward. And let's see what the security team has to say. So over to you, Mr. Ravi, our security head, to take us through what are the procedures and the plans that are being set up by the hotel to ensure this crisis works out smoothly.
Thank you, Mr. Atharva. I completely agree on your approach and action plans to handle this situation. Here, as a security manager, is my leadership approaches to handle this situation. First is transformational leadership, and second is servant leadership. In case of transformational leadership, will apply to inspire and motivate to our staff, because the staff is first priority to handle this situation. And in case of the self confidence and self awareness and management is totally depends when the security manager is built to be increase their confidence of their staff member and their colleagues to manage this crisis proactively and efficiently, because all responsibility are depends on our staffs and their as well as our hotels property also, and also on their guest which is stay in our hotel. In case of servant leadership styles is totally depends when the manager think about their staff and guests first, not themselves, and also make a contingency plans to handle this crisis, which is followed by the staff is step to step plan which is followed by the staff to face this situation and manage this situation and recover this situation, the guest and hotel also, and build a values and beliefs for the staffs and guests to be believe on the hotel's management. The leadership action plan is based on the three parts. It's the staff based, guest based, and the hotel based. The staff based is the combination of the staff effort or the manager effort. Here, the first point is to check the credibility of a threat with the help of the caller checklist. We can check the credibility of the threat with the help of caller checklist, because the checklist have each information regarding the call, in which have a caller id, caller details, what the time, and they have a, we can also have information about the background noise of the calls. In this kind of information is helps to investigate these situations. And the next point is they provide the instruction to our security guards to investigate the bomb locations and the people, because in this case the all instruction is based on the checklist, and it's the instruction given by the leaders to investigate the boom, because the staff is depends on their leaders. And the next point is motivational and inspirational to be responsible, because the staff and the guest all responsibility are of the leaders, because the in this situation they are death and life case, and everyone wants to life, and everyone wants to be save their life first as compared to other things. In this case needs to be motivate and inspire their staff to handle this situation and be a responsible for their guest and their property. And next is the guest. In case of guest based, their evacuation plans, evacuations plan needs to be checked their exist and assembly area, because in case of emergency we need to be put the all guest in the outside of the hotels, and also be prepared to contact with the emergency assistance such as like a police and a medical team and bomb squad and other legal agencies to be handle these situations by legally. And in case of the hotels we have a ppr threat plans. This is a model in which we have a four element: prevention, preparedness, response, and recovery. Prevention and preparedness is before and during the crisis the action, and the response and recovery is after the crisis happen in the hotel. Prevention and preparedness: in case of prevention is which we have all actions in our hotels before the crisis happen, such as we have a 24 into 7 security guard services, and we have a 24 into 7 video surveillance, and we have also the bomb squad, and we have also metal detector in our hotels. In case of the preparedness is depends on the which we have to be planned to handle this situation, such as we have a any staff who have all this kind of training, and we have any assessment to deal with this kind of situation. Any kind of we have a plan which have a all step to step instruction for the staff to deal with this crisis. And this all depends on our the management team plans. First point is here the training. We should have to be trained our staff as a bomb squad, and we need to be put as a each department at least one team member in this team to be instant backup for this kind of crisis. And the next is the response point. In case of the response step, we need to be ready for our backup emergency assistance, such as police force, any kind of military force, any kind of emergency, medical emergency, fire emergency. Is this all included in our response? How we gonna respond on this situation? And last is the recovery step is totally based over after the incident happen, is post incident investigation step, which is taken by the hotel. In this step we need to be investigate and find out the affected areas, such as our staff affected, our guest affected, and our hotel property affected by these incident. We need to be investigate, and we need to be evaluate how much they gonna effect on these subcategories, like our who is our staff affected, and how we are guest affected, and how many expenses during our incident on our hotel property. All these happens in these plans. Now our general manager is gives some insights on this actions plans.
Thank you, team, for such a constructive approach from your particular departments, as these are one of the most engaging departments considering this situation. All the approaches that you stated certainly showcases your character as a leader. I'm extremely positive that we are going to get out of this situation very smoothly and within no time. No one on this property will get hurt and they will reach to safety soon. I respect all the leadership styles put forth by you, but the most prominent, according to me, in this situation is the transformational style of leadership, as the effect of empowerment would do wonders. The authoritative style is also needed to guide everyone to safety. To track the caller is also the utmost with utmost cautiousness is also needed. I know we are hosting high level delegates and the VIPs, but our ethical leadership style treats every life with utmost importance, and the evacuation process will be implemented as per our standards. We have to deal with the after effects as well. And I'm 100% sure that we will prove ourselves in this situation and showcase the world our true character. The message that every person is safe in Hilton in any given situation will come to everyone's notice. Also, the international conference should go according to plan, and we as a team will guarantee that. I personally will be in continuous touch with the government authorities to boost our speed of actions. Furthermore, we will not let this threat call affect the guests in their vacations and try to accommodate them with few extensions. The priority after people is tracking down the caller and reach to solid conclusion.